wondering, that the audience is going to wonder, is when we want to do this extensive reading of an hour going through why we chose our parents, which name do you need? Do you need our name as in our birth certificate, or do you need the name that we go by choice?
Both. So your birth name, the name that is on your birth certificate, is extremely important, because that is the soul contract that your soul signed or agreed to when it came down to earth to live out this life as that name. However, we do have free will. Remember, we can make our own choices. So if you go and legally change your name, that makes the universe see you as that name now. If you have a nickname, like my whole name is actually Katrina Andrews, but I go by Kat, and that's because I'm a numerology scientist and I know patterns and I know what I want and what I don't want. And so that's also really common, I have noticed, in different spiritual communities where you get a spiritual name. And I feel that that is a lot kind of going about where if your soul's here learning and it's already been in this environment of your birth name, it's experienced this and it's been led to this point, and it's been given a new name so that it can adjust to a new learning environment and it can have a new personality, because we do all grow and evolve. So say you came here and your soul learned what it wanted to learn in that name. And so it's totally acceptable for it to change and say, this is the new me. I no longer resonate with the energy of what I was when I was learning this. I now resonate with this. So for that, if you have definitely always, when I get a reading certificate or a request, I request the full name that is represented on your birth certificate. And there's another questionnaire spot that says, do you have any nicknames or do you go by a different name? And that way I can compare, because there's a lot of times actually where people they want this new name, they want to go by this spiritual name, or they just picked a name and they've renamed themselves, and it's incredibly incompatible with their birth name. And if it is, I want to compare those for you to let you know that if your soul is meant to live here in a place where they want to be a boss and they want to be the natural leader, and you pick a name over here where they are a natural leader, that is going to have a conflict for you, that is going to cause incompatibilities for you with everyone you interact with. Because if you come up and say, hi, my name is Izzy, but you don't live like an Izzy or represent an Izzy, people will know. You don't have to be a numerology scientist to have your soul's brilliance come through into your consciousness and go, yeah, you might want to be called Izzy, but you're not a natural leader, you're not defiant enough, and you're not much of a chameleon who can adapt to any environment that she's put in. So people will notice, and they're like, no, you're not an Izzy. You're more like a Karen, or something like that. They can compare and say that you don't fit that name. People will know.
That's very helping, I feel, for the audience, because I know that many people, they either change the spelling of the name, or they went with the spiritual name, or they are hesitating between two. And for me, I remember when I took my spiritual name as the name I go by, it did feel like I was a new person. And now, thanks to namology, I can explain it.